Welcome to ZoomInData. In this video, we cover Power Apps interview questions, API integration and custom connectors, explained in a very simple, real-time project-oriented way. This topic is extremely important for enterprise Power Apps development, real-time system integrations, interview preparation for mid-level and senior roles. We focus on why APIs are used, common challenges, performance, security, governance, and real project thinking, not just definitions. 1. Why are APIs important in Power Apps integrations? APIs allow Power Apps to communicate with external systems such as SAP, Salesforce, payment gateways, or custom applications. They enable Power Apps to fetch, send, or update data in real time instead of working in isolation. APIs extend Power Apps beyond Microsoft ecosystem, making apps enterprise-ready. Without APIs, Power Apps would be limited to basic internal data sources. 2. What challenges arise when integrating Power Apps with REST APIs? REST APIs often return complex JSON responses that require careful handling. Authentication setup can be confusing, especially with OAuth and tokens. API failures or slow responses directly affect app performance. Error handling becomes critical because APIs depend on external systems. 3. How do custom connectors simplify API usage? Custom connectors wrap API logic into a reusable and user-friendly interface. Developers do not need to write API logic repeatedly in every app. They standardize API usage across multiple apps. Custom connectors improve maintainability and consistency. Example: a custom connector is created for a payment API and reused across multiple Power Apps. 4. What authentication methods are commonly used with APIs? API key authentication, where a static key is passed with each request. OAuth 2.0, which uses secure tokens and is common in enterprise systems. Basic authentication, mainly for legacy systems. Managed identity or Azure AD-based authentication for secure enterprise scenarios. 5. How does API throttling impact Power Apps? API throttling limits how many requests can be sent within a time period. If limits are exceeded, requests fail or are delayed. Users may experience slow performance or errors. Apps must be designed to minimize unnecessary API calls. 6. What risks exist when consuming third-party APIs? Third-party APIs may change or stop working without notice. Downtime in external systems directly impacts app reliability. Data security risks exist if APIs are not properly secured. Licensing or usage costs may increase unexpectedly. 7. How do custom connectors improve reusability? Once created, a custom connector can be used across multiple apps and flows. Changes to the API logic are made in one place. This reduces duplication and maintenance effort. Teams follow a standardized integration approach. 8. What challenges exist in maintaining API integrations? API versions may change over time. Authentication methods may expire or rotate. Error responses may vary between systems. Monitoring and troubleshooting require additional effort. 9. How do API failures affect app reliability? App features dependent on APIs may stop working. Users may lose trust in the application. Data operations may remain incomplete. Without proper handling, failures can crash the app experience. 10. What best practices apply when designing custom connectors? Keep connector actions simple and focused. Use clear naming and descriptions for actions and parameters. Handle errors gracefully within the connector. Avoid exposing sensitive information. 11. How does Power Apps handle API response errors? Power Apps receives error responses from APIs and can act accordingly. Developers must design logic to handle failures gracefully. User-friendly messages should be shown instead of technical errors. Error handling improves stability and trust. 12. What security concerns exist with exposed APIs? APIs may expose sensitive business data if not secured properly. Improper authentication can allow unauthorized access. API keys stored insecurely can be misused. Governance and DLP policies must be applied. 13. How does API versioning impact Power Apps? New API versions may change request or response formats. Existing Power Apps may break if not updated. Version awareness is required during design. Custom connectors help manage version transitions. 14. What challenges arise when APIs change unexpectedly? App logic may fail due to missing fields. Data mapping issues may occur. Emergency fixes may be required. This increases operational risk. 15. How do APIs support real-time data scenarios? APIs allow real-time data exchange between systems. Power Apps can reflect up-to-date information instantly. This supports operational decision-making. Example: a Power App fetches real-time order status from an external ERP system. 16. How does Power Apps manage API latency? Slow APIs increase app response time. Developers must avoid blocking UI during API calls. Caching strategies can reduce repeated calls. Latency handling improves user experience. 17. How do API integrations influence overall Power Apps architecture design? API integrations directly shape how a Power App is structured because data retrieval, updates, and business logic may depend on external systems instead of internal data sources like SharePoint or Dataverse. This requires careful planning of app flow, screen loading logic, and error handling. 18. How do custom connectors affect governance? Custom connectors must follow governance and security policies. They can be controlled using DLP rules. Centralized connectors reduce uncontrolled API usage. Governance ensures safe enterprise adoption. 19. What challenges arise when APIs return large payloads? Large responses slow down app performance. Mobile users are affected more due to network limits. Processing large payloads increases memory usage. APIs should return only required data. 20. How does Power Apps support pagination in API responses? APIs may return data in chunks instead of all at once. Power Apps must request subsequent pages carefully. Pagination improves performance and scalability. Proper design prevents data loss. 21. What risks exist when APIs are tightly coupled to apps? Any API change directly breaks the app. App becomes difficult to maintain. Reusability reduces significantly. Loose coupling is always preferred. 22. How do APIs enable system-to-system communication? APIs act as communication bridges between applications. Power Apps can interact with back-end systems seamlessly. This enables end-to-end automation. APIs remove manual data exchange. 23. What monitoring is required for API integrations? API availability and response time monitoring. Error tracking and failure alerts. Usage and throttling analysis. Monitoring ensures reliability. 24. How does Power Apps handle authentication token expiration? Tokens expire after a defined time. Power Apps must refresh or re-authenticate automatically. Failure to handle token expiry causes sudden app failures. Proper token handling is critical for stability. 25. Why are custom connectors critical in enterprise apps? They standardize integrations across the organization, improve security, reuse, and maintainability, reduce dependency on app-level logic, enable scalable and governed API usage. Thank you for watching ZoomInData. If you want real-time projects, contact ZoomInData. And if you want more questions on real-time projects, contact ZoomInData. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more Power Apps interview questions and real-time project guidance.